Oh no, not them, the Flood. Hello all, and welcome to today's video. I am the Crafty Shooter, and today we will be talking about the Flood. First, what the Flood is and how they infect. The Flood is just a parasitic life form. Now on to how it forms and infects. It forms into the infection form due to the fact that it's all it can form without using other biomass. This form seeks out a host, whether it's alive or dead, and then will try to drive sharp spines into the host, and then will try to get into the nervous system. While this is happening, the host is incapacitated, while the infection form burrows into the host's body. Then it will then turn into the host into one of many forms, depending on the condition of the body. If the body is withered and or in bad condition, instead of the combat form, it will turn into an incubator that will release more flood. If the body is good enough in good enough condition, it will turn into either a key mind or combat form. The combat form is as it sounds, meant for combat. While the key mind, that's a little bit scarier, and yeah, that forms a grave mind. Grave minds are very scary and are basically the entire stronghold of the flood and controls all flood. Now, the stages of the flood. Stages to the flood. First, the feral stage. This stage is when there is nothing but a drive to kill and feed and make more of itself and gain intelligence. Once it has enough calcium and flesh collected, it will then form a proto-grave mind. The coordinated stage, this stage will mostly or fully control the entire ecosystem. This stage flood population has been rapidly increasing. The flood supercell, or also known as a protograve mine, will then make a hive and put spores rapidly into the atmosphere. This stage is much, much more dangerous than the previous feral stage. Once the proto-grave mine has enough biomass to form a fully fledged grave mine, it will then go to the interstellar stage if it has enough technology to and or intelligence. By this point, the Flood has the ability to travel to new stellar systems, though this stage does not have much in the ways of advancing the Flood, just allowing it to spread. The origins of the Flood. About 10 million years ago, before the present day, a very advanced civilization known as the Precursors were there as a way to be responsible and a guardian to all of those of life in the galaxy. While under the Precursors' control, many intelligent species across the galaxy thrived and flourished, such as the Forerunners and humanity. Precursors would eventually choose humanity as a new mantle, with the Precursors were to fall. They deemed the Forerunners unworthy of such power. This then, in turn, made the Forerunners mad, and they started a massive rebellion or war against the Precursors. This war/rebellion would end up killing off all but very few Precursors. Those that remained were either turned to dust or go into suspended animation. The dust would slowly start to become defective and create sickness and disease, and would biologically mutate in the other organisms. Then infected, thus being the early precursors to the flood. Pun intended. The precursors, in order to stop this from happening, vowed that none of their creations they made would either rise up against them or try doing something stupid. The last survivor of the precursors would then be put into a stasis capsule in 9 million BCE. This precursor would be later known as the primordial, and it would eventually tell about the nature of the flood to those who are willing to know the truth. What I like about the flood, oh boy, there is a lot, and I mean a lot, to unpack about them that I like. First, let's talk about why I like them. I think the lore to them and how they thrive is interesting, like how they infect things. I find that kind of cool. It's very scary, especially if you were in the situation of being infected. That would be pretty scary. The reason I like the lore is because it speaks of the precursors that easily had so much power that they were basically turned into these evil monstrosities known as the Flood because of a war that broke out, and they had to find, and the dust would just slowly turn into other things. Yeah, but I think that the coolest thing about them is that they are able to transform into many forms and then slowly grow bigger just from one creature. I like the fact that they are basically this very feared creature to how they infect. I also think that the Primordial is a very interesting creature, especially since he will tell anyone willing to listen about the monstrosity. I'm pretty sure it's a he. I'd have to look it up again. Now, onto the missions and where the Flood appears in Halo games. We will only be talking about the mainline Halo games and not Halo Wars or Spartan Ops or whatever. We're only talking about the mainline games with Master Chief, basically. First, the first mission they appear in is 343 Guilty Spark in Halo CE. The second mission is the Library, again in Halo CE. The third one is in the Quarantine Zone in Halo 2. The fourth is Gravemind, and the second is Halo 2. The fifth mission is High Charity, and this again is Halo 2. And then the 16th mission is Floodgate in Halo 3. And lastly, Cortana, again in Halo 3. Thank you all for listening to this video, and have a good one. And don't forget to subscribe and like if you haven't already. I think that you might enjoy it, and if you do, make sure to hang out with us in the streams. It's pretty fun there. I stream every now and then. Don't really have a set schedule yet. School kind of gets in the way of that, but that's okay. But yeah, have a good one.